Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I dive into this lesson, I'd like to give all honor and all glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Kwakadash. Double honor to the great minister of the apostles who are teaching the true preachers too, to cause the four corners of this world was ruled well. And for the sincere Akim that's out there pushing this truth and sincerity, keep doing so. And for the sincere Akwathium that's out there reps their husbands, being a pillar of rest, keep doing so, okay? Slakim, this lesson is basically going over inflation or famine coming, okay? It says, global food inflation shock is coming to grocery near you, and it could get worse, okay? We've been talking about a famine and inflation coming towards America for a long time, starting with the elder apostles, They've been they told you already that there's going to be a famine and inflation coming, these companies are filing for bankruptcy. They're filing for they filing bankruptcy because they shutting down. They can't afford it no more. Or there's ultimately the government doing this. Why? So he can enforce his agenda. To be able to make people get these vaccines, and then ultimately this RFID chip. So it says, hope you're prepared for a major price shock the next time you go to your local grocery store. That's because a new report is revealing that corn, wheat, soybeans, and vegetable oils and other commodities that form the backbone of much of the world's diet are dramatically more expensive now, flashing an alarm signal for global inflation. Okay? A shocking report. Bloomberg News revealed the agriculture spot index, which is used to track key for products, has reportedly surged the most in almost 9 years, and is been driven by crops features, according to the Bloomberg, with global food prices already at the highest since mid-2014. This latest jump is being closely watched because staples crops are ubiquitous influence on grocery shelves, from bread and pizza and dough to meat and even soda. The rise in costs will produce broad repercussions for households and businesses, as well as threaten a world economy trying to recover from the damage of the coronavirus pandemic. This complication of disasters is fueling food inflation. There seems to be sort of bullish force behind the prices internationally. Abdulreza Abbasan, senior economist at the United States Nations Food Agriculture Organization, said in the interview, the indications are that there is very little reason to believe prices will remain at these levels. It is more likely they will rise further. Hardship is still ahead. The relentless price rise in prices act as a misery multiplier, driving millions deeper into hunger and desperation. Chris Nicole, the World Food Program's regional director for West Africa, said earlier this month, it is pushing a basic meal beyond the reach of millions of poor families who were already struggling to get by. Corn prices have reportedly doubled in the past 12 months, while soybeans are about 80% and wheat 30%. But China's purchase continuing in spite of adverse weather conditions threatening crops in Brazil. In the U.S., there are a few signs of respite, and if that wasn't enough, now we are being warned that there is a mega drought in the making for the western portion of the United States that could also add even more crippling impacts to this already disastrous inflation. Okay, so hey man, this the Lord doing this, man. Why this is happening? They sending these stimulus checks out. Ultimately trying to crash their own market. Do a massive reset. You look up Agenda 21. Okay, bear with me. They're going to try to ban it as false. Here we go right here. It says one world government, one world cashless currency, one world central bank, one world military, the end of national sovereignty, the end of all privately owned property, the end of family unit, depopulation, control of population, and population density, mandatory multiple vaccines. They already doing it now. Universal basic income, microchipped society for purchasing, traveling, tracking, and controlling, implementation of world social credit system, trillions of appliances hooked into 5G monitoring system, government raised children, government owned and controlled schools, colleges, universities, the end of transportation, owning cars, all businesses owned by government corporations, the restriction of non-essential air travel, humans being concentrated into human settlement zones, cities, the end of irrigation, the end of private farms and grazing livestock, the end of single family homes, restricted land use that serves human needs, the ban of natural non-synthetic drugs and naturopathic medicine, the end of fossil fuels, you know. So, hey, man, these devils, man, they up here trying to push this Agenda 21 agenda, you know, what this is going into, you know, they trying to push this so they can be able to fulfill this new world order, which they are not going to be able to, because why? The Lord not going to allow them to do so, okay? You know, and they trying to control the market, you know, they trying to control how much your family get, you know, how many people can be in your house, how much food you can bring in your house. They trying to get all control of everything, you know, but ultimately this going to cause a whole famine. You know, because these damn devils, ultimately the Lord letting this happen to cause a famine in the land, okay? So let's go ahead and get to the scriptures. We're going to go into Ezekiel 5 and 16. Ezekiel 5 and 16, and it reads, when I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, in which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. What is the staff of bread? The food, man. The Lord's literally breaking the staff of bread, man. He's going to make a lot of you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans starve out here, because why? You ain't want to hearken to him when he gave you the chance, okay? It's best for you to listen to the Lord now, or you ultimately gonna get destroyed later on, you know. It's best to listen to him, you know, seek out the Lord, you know, because it tells you in 2 Chronicles chapter 13 and verse 15, or chapter 15 and verse 13, for whosoever shall not seek the Lord thy God shall be put to death, whether small or great, whether man or woman, okay? So, keep going. We're gonna go into Ezekiel chapter 14, okay? Ezekiel chapter 14 and verse 13. And it reads and it says, Son of man, I'm going to start at verse 12. And it says, the word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and will break the staff of bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. Okay? So, hey, the Lord said, you know, he gonna cut off man and beast from it. You know, when he break that staff of bread, what is that staff of bread? The food, man. He gonna make it a straight, make it look. It's gonna be hard for some people out here, man. You know, it's gonna be hard, man. You know, not being able to eat. You know, not be able to drink. You know, water, clean water at that, purified water at that. You know, because ultimately the Lord gonna feed his chosen, you know. He gonna feed his elect. He gonna give his elect water to drink, you know, during the times we're going into, okay? But let's keep going, you know, but, you know, the Lord gonna send a famine upon this land, man. Hey, the Lord did it once before. You know, he did it before. You know, let's go into 2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 27 through 29. Salaki, bear with me. All right, I'm gonna start at verse. I'm gonna start at verse 9 and go to 18 and go to 29. It says, "And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto Yahweh and said, Smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness, and smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. And Elisha said unto them, This is not the way, neither is this the city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom you seek. But he led them to Samaria. And it came to pass, when they were come into Samaria, Elisha said, Yahweh opened the eyes of these men that they may see. And Yahweh opened their eyes, and they saw, and beheld, they were in the midst of Samaria. And the king of Israel said unto Elisha, when he saw them, My father, shall I smite them? And shall I smite them? And he answered, Thou shalt not smite them. Wouldest thou smite those whom thou hast taken captive? With thy sword and with thy bow set bread and water before them, that they may eat and drink and go to their master. And he prepared a great provision for them. And when they had eaten and drunk, he sent them away, and they went to their master. So the bands of Syria came no more into the land of Israel. And it came to pass after this, that Hadad, king of Syria, gathered his host and went up and besieged Samaria. And there was a great famine in Samaria. And behold, they besieged it until the ass head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of doves dung. Salakia, fourth part of a cab of doves dung for 5 pieces of silver. And man, this is how bad the Lord made it get, to the point where these people were buying donkey heads for 80 pieces of silver, or modern day terms, $80, and buying doves doo-doo, or how can I put it into modern day terms, basically bird shit for $5, man. And it says, and as the king of Israel was passed by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help me, help me, Lord, O king. And he said, If Yahweh do not help thee, when shall I help? When shall I help thee? Oh, out of the barnyard or out of the wine pressing? The Lord made it to the point where the king was like, if the Lord ain't help me, how can I help you? Basically they don't know what to do, man. In verse 28, and it says, And the king said unto her, What allieth thee? And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So this goes into cannibalism, This gonna come back, The Lord finna make people eat each other, and they gonna be eating their own selves out here, man. The Lord finna make it get real, real gruesome out here, man. You gotta make sure you doing what's required of you, so you don't be caught in that, man. You eating your own flesh. You eating your own doo-doo. You drinking in your own pee. You just eating anything concrete. You eating anything to sustain yourself, other than food, man. The Lord gonna make it that bad for us, a lot of people, man. It's best to get it together so you don't be part of that number, okay? Verse 29, so we boiled my son and did eat him, and I said unto her, On the next day, give thy son, that we may eat him. And she had heard her son. So they ate the king's son, but when it came to her, she ain't give it up. That's coming back, man. People gonna be boiling their children. People gonna be eating their own dung, as in their own doo-doo. People gonna be drinking their own piss. People gonna be eating her, just to sustain themselves, Hey, the Lord gonna make it real, real ugly here, man. Lord willing that those that's sincere in this truth not part of that, man. Just go ahead and get 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and verse 22, because this is gonna come to pass too. And it says, this is 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and verse 22. And it says, And suddenly shall the sowing places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Okay? So you can see it to this day when that snowstorm hit in Texas, Hey man, them damn shelves was damn near empty. All the water was gone, all the meat was gone, All that's coming to pass sooner or later, man. You gotta get it together, man. We gotta get it together so we don't be those Israelites, that's struggling out here, man. Let's go ahead and get another scripture from 2nd Esdras. I think it's chapter 16. 2nd Esdras chapter 16 and verse 18 through 19. And it says, the beginning of sorrows and the great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? So the beginning of famine, man, these things are coming, man. The Lord spoke about it in Matthew chapter 24, that the Lord is going to send a famine upon the land, A famine, break the staff of bread, mentioned in Ezekiel chapter 5 and verse 16, Ezekiel 14 and verse 13, okay? It's best to be able to seek the Lord now so you don't be that guy where you starving, your stomach biting your back, man. Because, hey, man, dying of a famine, man, that is the worst death, man. That's a slow, painful death because your stomach gets to eating itself then, Verse 19, behold, famine and plague, as tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a moment. If you didn't know, a famine is a spirit, a spirit of vengeance. You go into Ecclesiasticus, or known as Sirach, Ecclesiasticus chapter 39, and it reads, 39 and verse 27 through 29, it says, all these things are good for good to the godly, so the sinners they are turned into evil. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes in the time of destruction. They power out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire, hail, and famine, and death, all these were created for vengeance. Okay? So fire, hail, and famine, and death, all these were created for vengeance. Famine is a spirit of vengeance, man. The Lord gonna send that spirit here to break the staff of bread, and there is not gonna be no more food left for real to eat, man. Have you ever been in a situation in your house where it wasn't no food in the house? You kind of hungry. You trying to whip up something. Then next it don't go according to plan. Jake, as a young, them Jakes that been through it, didn't have food in the house, man. They know what that feel like. But imagine going days, weeks, months without no food, man. That's a slow, painful death, man. Let's go ahead and get one more precept, then we're going to look up, the famine, okay? Matthew chapter 24. And it says, Matthew chapter 24 and verse 7, for a nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows, okay? So the Lord just said these are the beginnings of sorrows when the famine comes, when the pestilence comes, when the earthquakes happens, man. The Lord said these things gonna happen, man. So we're gonna look up how does it feel. We're gonna look up, do your stomach start to eat itself when you're in a famine? We're going to read this, I'm going to wrap it up. And it says, and that's how starvation can begin. When undernourishment, people do not get enough calories to keep up with the body's energy needs. Although starvation may be staved off if edibles are available, that would not previously have been considered food: grass, leaves, insects, or rodents. You ain't supposed to eat no damn rodents. Over weeks and months, malnutrition can result in specific diseases like anemia. When people don't get enough iron or berry, if they don't get adequate thiamine, a severe lack of food for a prolonged period, not enough calories of any sort to keep up with the body's energy needs, is starvation. The body reserve resources as are depleted, the results in substantial weight loss, wasting away the body's tissue, even eventually die. When faced with starvation, the body fights back. The first day without food is is a lot like the overnight fast between dinner one night and breakfast the next morning. Energy levels are low but picked up with a morning meal. Within days, faced with nothing to eat, the body begins to feeding on itself. The body starts to consume energy stores, carbohydrates, fats, and protein parts of tissue, says Maureen Gallenhanger, senior nutrition advisor, Action Hunger against Hunger, a network of international humanitarian organization focused on eliminating hunger, metabolism slow. The body cannot regulate its temperature, kidney function is impaired, and the immune system weakens. Okay, so man, you starving, man, your body just get to shutting down, man. You know, and you don't want to go through that, man, because once you go through that, man, your body is literally shutting down on you. It doesn't want to work no more. It's literally eating itself away, man. So you got to make sure you're doing the right thing to be able to be the Lord to be able to feed you, man. I know I said I was gonna wrap it up after that, but let's keep it going through the spirit, okay? This is Isaiah chapter 65 and verse. I'm gonna start at verse 11 and go to verse 13, and it says, But ye are they that forsake Yahweh, and that forgot my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop, and the furnace the drink offering unto that number. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did choose that which I delight, wherein I delighted not. Okay, so hey, the Lord not delighting in a lot of things you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are doing, man. You know, you keep on doing these things, man. Hey, the Lord gonna ultimately destroy y'all, man. By what? Famine, starving y'all, making your own body eat itself, you know. You know, this is a warning, you know, because they putting out inflation, but this ultimately gonna lead to an famine out here, okay? Let's keep going. It said, therefore, thus said Yahweh, the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Okay? So, hey, the Lord said, hey, my servant shall eat, and my servant shall drink. My servant shall rejoice. But he said, for those, you wicked Israelites, you know, y'all gonna be ashamed, y'all gonna be hungry, y'all be thirsty, all that, man. You know? So that's why we push these things. So when you come across these videos, man, it's to get together, man. You know, not wax worse and worse, you know. Okay? Let's go ahead and get one more scripture. I'm going to sign on off. Proverbs chapter 1. And it says, Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 26. I'm going to start at verse 22. It says, I'm going to start at verse 2. I'm going to end it off with verse 26 through 28. 29. And it says, I also will laugh at your calamity when I will mock when your fear cometh. Okay? So, hey, the Lord saying, hey, man, He'll laugh at your calamity when your fear coming. When you're starving, your stomach biting his back. When your stomach biting your back, you damn near on your death seat, man. Hey, the Lord gonna laugh at you, man, and make you suffer, man. And it says, when your fear cometh as a desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall not seek me early. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me, for they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahweh. Okay, so, hey, the reason why a lot of you Israelites probably going to go through that is because y'all didn't choose the fear of the Lord, okay? So, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. I'd like to give all honor and all glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Kwakadash. Double honors to the great men still other apostles who are teaching well. And for the sincere Akim that's out there preaching his truth and sincerity, keep doing so. And for the sincere Akwathim that's out there representing husband, being a pillar of rest, keep doing so. Till next time, till next video, Shalom, Kwame Yasharala, Abba, Abba.